All right, guys, we're about to start the podcast right about now. Hello.
Hello.
Hey, guys, what's going on? Hello.
We're here. How are you? Are you here?
Dude, I'm doing great, dude. I got, like, enough coffee to live through the rest of the night.
I was watching your stream yesterday, and you seemed a little buzzed.
What are you talking about, dude? I don't drink, like, 6 cups of coffee a day. I don't know what you're talking about.
That's not what you that's not what you did at all last night, was it?
No, definitely not. That's also not what I'm doing right now.
Well, are we ready to start, guys?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Next to Nothing, the show where we talk about how to waste your time and not your money in gaming. I am your host, Danie K. Arielle had like wide eyes, like, oh. With me, I have my ever-present co-host, Ren. How's it going, Ren?
Hi, I'm Ren. I'm bad at games. What's going on, guys? I'm doing fantastic, dude. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. And with us, our special guest this week, Arielle, a.k.a. R2Ninjaturtle. Hello and welcome.
Hi.
So,
I'm R2Ninjaturtle.
I should have asked you before we started. How would you like me to refer to you? As like Ninja Turtle, R2Ninjaturtle, or Arielle?
Or just Ninja. And then take over the Fortnite realm.
I answer to Arielle or R2. I really don't know why people always insist that it's Ninja Turtle. It's like, well, the R2's at the front, so like R2.
Cool. So I'm gonna go with Arielle just because I know that's your first name. If that's okay with you.
Cool.
Ren can do whatever he wants. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Just got back from Japan. Like literally less than 24 hours ago.
Yeah, you're shaking off some of that jet lag still?
Yeah, I'm on the same sleep schedule as a cat. I'm just napping a lot.
Well, we appreciate you being here less than 24 hours off a flight from Japan. For those of you, our viewers who don't know who you are, just kind of plug away, tell the people where they can find you, what you do, all that good stuff.
Pretty much under all social media, I go under R2Ninjaturtle. I've been on the internet under that name for a very long time, I would say over a decade. I started out on DeviantArt doing just art, Ninja Turtle art, Nightmare Before Christmas, a little bit of Coraline, like, stuff like that, just fan art and comics and such. Mm-hmm. And then when YouTube started, I got on there. I am one of the OGs. I've been on YouTube for since the very beginning. I just haven't really put weekly effort into it like people do nowadays, as a profession. It's just kind of like that thing I do on the side. And I have a Twitch stream now. So I do art streams and Minecraft streams, regular video games. Like I've done Smash and Diddy Kong Racing the other day, just whatever I feel like. And I'm also on Instagram. I'm just kind of everywhere doing my thing.
I mean, that works.
So go check her out. I'm going to go on ahead. And if you're in the Twitch chat right now, as we are streaming live, I'm going to be sharing those links. If you are watching the VOD or listening on the podcast feed, so Spotify, Apple, Swoot, all those places, you can see all the links down in the description of the episode. Go give her some love. She deserves it.
Thank you.
So, yeah. Well, you just mentioned you got back from Japan.
Yes.
Tell us all about it.
I mean, where to start? Just like the culture on its own. Mm-hmm. The best way I can describe it is whimsical. Like, you guys have seen Miyazaki movies, right?
Yeah.
I kept on saying, I feel like I'm in a Miyazaki movie. That guy nails his, the atmosphere of what Japan is. And, I didn't spend that much time in Tokyo itself. I spent it out in Mishima, which is, a town, maybe an hour and a half train ride out of Tokyo. And it's towards the base of Mount Fuji. I was in, Fuji Village. And so I got more of, the everyday Japan sort of experience. So My friend who I was staying with, she didn't have a car, so we did a lot of walking, and walking is like a big thing in Japan, and bike riding and stuff like that. And there's not a lot of cars on the road. It's so crazy. Like, this is just like a minor detail, but like, so like people in Japan are so courteous and polite, you know? So like when there are cars on the road, all of their roads look like they're just like one-way roads, but they're actually two-way roads. And someone can be just like zooming down one way, and then like someone else is coming the other direction, and they will just calmly move to the side, make room for the other person, and keep on going.
Oh,
And
wow.
yeah, and like generally the people are like that, just like very like they keep to themselves. They're very polite. They don't want to cause any trouble, and there's not really any trouble. Like everyone's just kind of like doing their own thing. You know, you do you, I'm gonna do me. You know, um, like it's so safe there. We were walking around at night and like in the middle of the night, and we felt fine, just two women, and there's like, you know, we went to Tokyo Disney one day, and it's so safe that like people were saving their spots at like, you know, the eating areas, like with their bags. Like you can just like leave your bag and like no one will take it. Like you trust that no one will take it. Like that's how well behaved the Japanese are.
Yeah, I dare anybody in the US to do that anywhere at any time.
Yeah, it's crazy. And just like there's all these like little minute details about Japan that like, you know, I kept on saying, "Wow, Japan, you think of everything." It's just like the little things. Like it rained the whole time I was there, unfortunately, but like that didn't kill the mood or anything. But you know, you don't bring your wet umbrellas into stores. They have like umbrella racks outside that you just like stick it in just so you're not like trailing the water inside. Um or just like the recycling and just like how clean everything is. Like everything's very organized. Just I don't know, just like they think of all the little details, and just like I've listed a lot of like really dumb stuff, but like, you know, we went to a lot of parks, and you know, in America, if you go to like a playground or something, it's like, here, have this plastic playground that we ordered from
Yeah.
Walmart.com. Like in Japan, just everything, everyone just puts so much thought and detail into everything, and not for the sake of tourism, but for the sake of just we want it to look beautiful. Like we care, you
Yeah.
know?
Mhm.
Like there's rivers and waterfalls everywhere. Um, like generally the houses are really pretty. Like they look like a traditional, you know, Japanese architecture, but they modernized it. Just like I don't know if there's a functionality to them, but just they're just for aesthetics, and it's gorgeous. Um, and Tokyo itself, I would describe Tokyo itself as like, you know, I don't know if this is like maybe offensive to say, but it's like I felt like being in Tokyo, I felt like I was in a website from the early internet days without ad block. There's just like so many signs everywhere. It's like very overwhelming. There's too much going on in this website. It's very flashy, you know.
Yeah, like 70
There's
different
like
pop-ups all at
there's like
once.
there's music playing that you can't pause.
Yeah.
You can't
Like,
find the source of the music. You're going through all your windows.
Yeah, there's like so much happening, and like I don't understand the language, so it's just like, okay, all right, there's a lot to look at here. Hold on, you know.
Oh man.
And I stood out like a sore thumb. It was funny. There's one time where like a little like came up, like she was like, I don't know, she's just running around like the area we were in, and she like stopped like in her tracks seeing me and my friend pass by, and she's like, oh, foreigners, but in like in Japanese.
Oh,
We were
man.
aliens.
I have had that interaction where it's like, ooh, foreigners, and I was in it was when I was in Belize, and it was just because almost no white people had ever been seen in like the little village we were in. They're like, aren't you supposed to be like over there on the coast? Like,
Why are you here?
why are you here? I'm like,
Yeah, like literally every time we saw another like white person, we'd just be like, what?
Oh man.
And especially like I had the brilliant freaking idea to dye my hair neon green before I went. Like if I didn't stand out already.
So what were some of the things you did in Japan? Or I guess aside from it being a vacation, was there anything else that took you there?
I mostly wanted to go for the shopping, to be honest, because I'm really into fashion and stuff. So I really, really wanted to go to Harajuku, where they have like the really crazy clothes. And I wear typically like some weird shit. Like I'm wearing literally like a dragon tail skirt right now. You can see that on the camera. I
Oh
like
man.
weird clothes. And so like I was ready to freaking replace my entire wardrobe with Japanese clothes because like just the styles they're into like are just all over the place and I respect that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like particularly what they sell in Harajuku. I shouldn't say that like all of Japanese clothes because like they're pretty much I would describe general Japanese clothes as um like doll-ish, modest, lots of pastels, like very like there's no like shape to them. There's more of like a boxy look right now, kind of baggy. But like the stuff that they sell in Harajuku is a lot more like you would describe as like goth or punk. Like there's kawaii culture right now, cute culture,
Mm-hmm.
where everyone's just very colorful and over the top, that sort of stuff. I love that stuff. So,
Oh man.
um,
Uh,
and yeah, I also got to go to Tokyo Disney, which was very crowded. I'm talking a 3 hour wait for Splash Mountain, but they had a whole scare factory from Monsters Inc. or I guess like a laugh factory now, and like it was like I Monsters Inc. is one of my favorite movies, so I was like over the moon. I was having so much fun.
Oh man, it's just interesting because for me personally, I mean, I live in the boonies. I don't really go anywhere. So every time that like anything foreign is brought up, I'm like, "Oh my god. Wait, you're telling me other things happen in the world?" Hold on. Oh man. That sounds awesome though. That sounds like a great time.
Yeah, like I've never actually been like overseas before. I've been to the
Mhm.
Caribbean like for cruises and stuff,
Yeah.
but you know, you spend like 1 day in Mexico. Like I'm thankful for that, but like
Right.
that's not really an experience of the culture. Like
mhm.
this was actually taking a friggin' 16-hour flight, and then like, you know, like feeling like you're on another planet. Like it's just so different, like just like the behavior and like the rules and like just how they treat the people, like the quality of life is just so different.
Mhm.
And it's like it's crazy, it's amazing, very eye-opening. Like I want to see more of the world now. I've always wanted to see more of the world, but now that I've like been like wow, like there's so much more out there, like let's go, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. My sister spent some time in East Asia, passed through Japan on our way to Thailand, did some different advocacy stuff in Japan. But she said that we had both gone to Belize together. That's the only time I'd ever been out. She's like, it totally different. Every bit of the culture, and it's obvious to say, but it doesn't really hit you until you are confronted by it, like right in the face. That every bit of like the ideas and like way people think about things in those countries, down to like you're saying, like in design of like buildings and like where things are, and it's incredibly valuable to people to just take a quick second to think about how you'd want to go about a trip overseas, because a lot of people kind of get slapped in the face by some of this stuff and they make an ass out of themselves.
Yeah,
Did you make an ass out of yourself at all?
I mean, like I told, so this is kind of dumb, but like before I left I was like a bunch of like 20 things you need to know before you go to Japan, like that sort of stuff.
Mhm.
And a lot of it was like the people there are very quiet, you know, so they want to like, you know, like they don't want to bother anybody. Like I said, they're kind of like keeping to themselves. And I've been told that I can be a loud person, and I get it from my mom. And so I'm like, okay, my goal is to just chillax a little bit more. And then, like, as soon as I step off the plane, my friend has a sign for me that says, "Come on and slam and welcome to Japan." Like, you know, when they're picking you up from the airport, she
Super
has like a
subtle.
sign for me. And like, you know, I couldn't read it when I first stepped out. And like, I spotted her as soon as I walked out of the gate and like very loudly in front of all the Japanese people, I'm like, "What does that say?" Oh my God. And then being
Oh
like, "Oh my
man.
God, hi." And then I'm like, "Wait, hold on." You
Oh man.
But like
Oh,
generally, like I tried, like after that, like I tried really hard to like, you know, because I didn't understand the language, there's a lot of just like me just kind of like quietly following my friend like a duckling. And
Mhm.
then, like anytime someone would talk to me, I would either just be like arigato, or I would like panic eyes look at my friend like what they say, what, like very just like keeping to myself. And like there's a lot of times that I kind of like panicked on my own. Like I heard that like finger pointing is rude, and I did that so much. And every time I did it, I was like, damn it.
Oh man.
And just like, you know, going back to like how I typically dress in the neon green hair, like aside from the fact that I'm already white, like, you know, I everywhere I went, I just got the side eye of like, okay, that chick. In this quiet little Mount Fuji town, you know? So
Oh man.
So you said you went to Tokyo Disney.
mhm.
We were talking before the podcast, and you're from, or at least residing in the Orlando area.
Yeah.
So is it safe for me to presume you've been to Disney in Orlando?
Yes, that's very,
I thought
very,
this was
very
secretly
true.
gonna be like,
I was gonna be
I
like-
have not. Never. What is
Never.
Disney?
I have been there probably over 100, maybe even 200 times. I worked
Oh my
there for a
God.
bit.
Okay.
You know.
So I've been to Disney World. I actually performed at Downtown Disney in high school, but that's a side story.
Nice.
What were like the big differences at Tokyo Disney versus Disney Orlando?
Okay, so first of all, very widespread. Like this is so strange to me because like in Japan, because it's a small country, everything's very like condensed. Like you go into the stores and everything's like a little on the claustrophobic side. Um, but and like it's kind of like in New York City, just like everything's just kind of like a bunch of people in a small place. And for some reason, like, you know, Tokyo Disney is just like it feels like regular Disney World, but just like someone stretched it out. There's so much blank space. Like the roads are so wide, and like if you think of like you know, the main courtyard of Disney World where like the castle is and stuff, it's like 4 times bigger. It's huge. But there's also like I think like that's a smart thing in the case that like there's so many people. Like, and I also went on like a holiday week. I was there Golden Week, which is when all schools are out. Like, you know, here we have spring break, and then like one school's
Right.
like, oh, I have spring break these dates. And then the other school's like, I'm going these dates. No, every school, all grades are out this whole week. So it was very, very crowded. And like, you know, imagine, or like, you know, some people watching might not be familiar with Disney, but so like, you know, when there's a parade, for example, like you have the sidewalk, and like there are people right at the line watching the parade, and there's some people like standing behind them, and that's kind of it. The parades at Tokyo Disneyland like had rows upon rows of people sitting down, and like it's not a sidewalk, it's like I can't even describe it. Just like I guess like it's a seating area. You know, it's just like this huge block of people all sitting down, and then you have the other group of people all standing behind them. Like this just huge chunk of like space between where you are like at the back of the group versus where the parade actually is. You know, it's insanity. And like I said, you know, 3 hour wait for Splash Mountain. And I know it was a holiday, so it could have been that, but um, you know, my friend said that like she's heard that like generally, like, you know, the wait can be kind of crazy. And like I noticed because we actually only went on 2 rides there because it was that crowded. But like generally we like the entertainment aspect of Disney and the atmosphere, so we felt all right. But so we were on the line for um the Monsters Inc. ride because I had to go on that. And we only the line that we were only the amount of space that we moved was not that much. Like we only like went around a corner and down a little hallway. But and so like we were on that line for an hour and a half for such a short space
Wow.
and like the reasoning is because if you have a fast pass,
Oh yeah.
like
Everybody's
they're
just dipping
pretty
in
much
and out.
they're letting all of the fast passers in. And in Disney World, how it works is that like they pretty much let in like a little bit of fast pass, and then they let in regular people, a little bit of fast pass, a little bit of regular people, and then they might focus on fast pass a little bit more because like maybe like that time slot is ending, so they want to get everybody in. But this one, it took so long to get on the ride because they would literally just focus on the fast passes for forever. And then like maybe like 20 minutes later, they'll let a few people on the regular line in. That was not cool.
Wow. Oh my god. I'd be losing my shit if I just saw like 50 people go past me and we move up like 2 spaces.
The waiting area was literally the lobby of, so I wasn't complaining. But like when we were at the end of the line, they let in one family ahead of us. So we were at the bar where the lady was like, okay, now hold on. And we watched her just let all the fast passes in. And we're like, wow, this is why. Got it.
Oh, man. I would lose my mind.
Also, another different thing. Another cool thing about them, this is also like a general Japan thing, but like their food is also really cute. Like they put a lot of thought into that too. So like in Disney World, Disney World in America, we have like, you know, if you want lunch, you got like burgers and fries, whatever, chicken nuggets. They had like, you know, rice with Mickey shaped ham, and they had we couldn't figure out how they did this, but they had hard-boiled eggs with the yolk in the shape of Mickey.
What?
How do you do that?
What?
And what we had for lunch is that we had it was Mickey gloves made out of Chinese dumplings. You know, that was the burger, like holding our burger. And we got Mike Wazowski cookie sandwiches, so it was like his face, and then it had marshmallows in it to make like teeth.
Oh my
and just
god.
like there's like a picture on my Instagram of it, but just the fine details, you know. Good job, Japan. You know, they care.
I'm just thinking about that poor chicken right now. That poor chicken
being fondled in Mickey's hands.
Just trying to figure. Someone's just messing with that poor chicken to get it to lay it.
Oh, the yolk.
You just gotta move the chicken around a little bit every now and then.
My theory, though this sounds so complicated, but yet Japan, I wouldn't be surprised. I think they might like hard boil the egg and then like scoop out like with like a little like circle, like a melon thing, like 2 little ears for it, and then like add more yolk to, or like.
See, that's what I was thinking.
They probably have like an extra regular hard boiled egg that they like cut into like slices to like stick into like the holes or something. I don't know. I need to find like a how it, you know.
Here's my theory is that they have they mostly hard boil the egg enough to where the whites are set but not the yolk, and then they like get like some sort of maybe plastic bit, you know, like a cookie cutter basically, and then finish cooking the egg with that plastic, you know, cookie cutter bit in to get it to set.
I don't know how hard-boiled eggs usually work, because like I know you usually cook it like still in the shell and stuff like that. So like I don't know if there's a process of like already like cooking it outside of the. I don't know.
You can get the yolk partially cooked. Get it like runny, so you can have like a runny hard-boiled egg. That's my guess. I'm not a professional chef.
I still like the conspiracy that they just move the chickens around a lot. I'm sticking with that one. I think that's
genetically modified chickens.
Yeah, they're just McDonald's chickens. They even have the ears. It's crazy.
If anyone could figure it out, it's Disney.
True. The what are they? The Fungineers? Is that what they?
Imagineers.
Imagineers. Thank you.
Yes.
The Imagineers spend a lot of time on that, I'm sure. The Fungineers. I'm sounding like a jackass over here.
What? Never.
Never. I never make an ass of myself on this show.
Fungin is a Wreck-It Ralph joke. The Fungin. It's a fun dungeon, you know?
So outside of Tokyo Disney, any other like just amazing things that happened to you or that you experienced in Japan?
I got to go to the Kawaii Monster Cafe. That was a big highlight because it was like I'm really into like monsters and stuff. And then like, so it was this really colorful, over the top cafe. I can't even like really describe to you what the inside looked like. It looked um, like sculptures that looked like gooey frosting or like slime or something.
Mhm.
And then there was like really weird decorations. Like we had like a bunny head over our table, and then like there was a bunch of mirrors and like weird lights, and there were like octopus arms coming out from the floors, and there's a carousel. And all the waiters had like gigantic, big, colorful hair and like crazy outfits and giant platform shoes. And I also have colorful hair and platform shoes, so they accepted me as one as their own. So like
Oh,
every
man.
few hours or whatever, they would do a show, and they were speaking in Japanese, but I didn't realize they were calling up a volunteer. But like I did see one like going around like searching the audience, and then like she came up to me and she like took my hands, and my friends were like, go, and I'm like, wait, what? And they pulled me up, and so they taught us like a little monster dance, and like it was like they taught me like legit a whole like choreography routine right there. And I was just kind of like figuring it out like in Japanese, like we do that, then that, got it, all right. And then they played they're like, okay, and then you repeat that 3 times, you got that? And I'm like, yeah. And my friend got it all on film, and check out my YouTube channel, and I'll have a vlog all about it pretty soon,
Oh,
but
man.
that was a big highlight. And what else was cool? Let's see, I went to Hakone, which I can't really tell you what like the significance of that place is, but it is like a tourist spot.
Mhm.
And they have pirate ships there for some reason, and I'm really into pirates. And if you can see like the wheel I have in the back of my webcam. And so we got to ride on the pirate ship, and they have like these really pretty views of the like the mountains, and there's a volcano there. And we took a sky car that went over the volcano, except it was raining that day, so it was super foggy. So going over the volcano was just kind of going over like a fog. So we were just like, well, we're waiting for the pterodactyl attack, And what else? I saw Detective Pikachu before all you people did.
Oh! Oh my god.
No!
They had English dub with Japanese subtitles, so we saw like the regular version, and no
Oh, now I'm
spoilers.
tilted. No, it's fine. It's already spoiled for me. It's already ruined. She already saw it. Basically ruined.
All I have to say about it in a very, very way. You know how when you're a child and like you always wish that Pokemon were real, or at
Yeah.
least I did.
Yeah.
Wait, that stops when you're a child?
I mean,
For some
That's what
people.
all
Not saying
that's what all
anything
my
about
birthday
us or
wishes
anything.
were for like 8 years. But like my friend told me she felt this exact same way when it opens up.
Mhm.
Like you're like, me and her were like immediately tearing up, because like that's what it feels like. You see the real world, and you see the Pokemon there in a very realistic way, and there they are, and like imagine if this came out when you were a kid. Like, this is basically a childhood dream come true. Like the inner you is just like, this is amazing. And I definitely recommend seeing it twice, only because the first time seeing it, you're so giddy about being like, oh, there's that Pokemon, look there in the background, there's that one. And like you're not really paying attention to like what's happening in
Yeah.
the front. Like there's a few plot points where like my friend was like, oh, it's this, and I was like, what? So yeah, like highly recommend.
Oh man.
Awesome. I'm sure me and Ren will talk about that when we finally get to watch it here in the States.
Yeah, now I'm so jealous. No.
So I'm assuming, and you can, call me an ass if I'm assuming too much here. On your way back, you were probably sleeping for the most part, but on your way there's a lot of layovers. It's a long flight. I'm sure you're not sleeping for the entire flight. What were you doing on your way there to entertain yourself?
Watching movies.
Watching movies. You weren't playing any games at all?
I did actually play. So before going, I was planning to bring my Switch.
Mhm.
And I was packing up my bag, and I have like a little, just like a little pouch where I keep the games. And so like, well, it's the pouch that I keep my 3DS games in. But so I was taking all my Switch games, being like, all right, I'm gonna unpack all these and I'm gonna put them into this little pouch, and I'll figure out what game I play later. But so I was pulling out like Breath of the Wild, Mario Odyssey, all these games, and I was like, I don't know which one I feel like playing. And then I pulled out my 3DS, the little pouch, and I was like starting to take out those games so I can remove, like, trade them off with the Switch games. And
Mhm.
then I was like, wait, I want to play this one. Oh, I haven't really played through that one, and all that. So I decided in the end to bring my 3DS. And on the train, or not the train, the plane, I was playing Majora's Mask 3D.
Oh,
Oh
Yeah.
man.
was this a replay through for you, or was this like a first experience?
Oh yeah, it was a replay through. I cosplay as Skull Kid. It's my favorite
Mm.
Zelda game.
Oh man.
I'm not a Zelda person at all. Like you can,
I feel so
it kind of
bad.
missed me. I
I feel
know it.
so bad. I played the original, like the NES Zelda, and then the Link to the Past, and then I missed
Oh
every other
man.
Zelda game until Breath of the Wild, and I was like, "This is amazing. What have I missed all my
Uh,
life, dude?"
I mean, Breath of the
The
Wild is very different from
Hmm.
what we've been getting for the past like decade or so, whatever, 15 years.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, Breath of the Wild's amazing. But I appreciate the Legend of Zelda series because I love the stories that they have. I love the character designs.
Hmm.
I love the music.
Yeah.
Um, just the world that they've built is so cool.
Hmm.
Like a lot of like, like if you were to ask me like what my favorite fictional characters are, like, in the whole world, like at least three of them are from Zelda.
Hmm.
Or like, like the brands that, or the series that I'm really into. Like I'm into Ninja Turtles, Disney, Legend of Zelda, or like, or
mm,
at least like Nintendo. Like I love it
Right.
so much.
Oh, yeah.
that's cool. Oh, by the way, I have played a Zelda game, but I feel like if I say what Zelda game I mostly played through, people are going to be very angry and be like,
Well,
"That's
now
not
you
a
just
real
have to
Zelda
tell
game."
us.
Was it the CDI?
Phantom
Oh.
Hourglass.
It's all right.
That one's I'm like that one I know is not like a fan. Like I've heard that one is just like what?
I started playing that one, and it's all right. Because I really like Wind Waker, so, and
Mhm.
Hmm.
Tetra is one of my favorite characters too. Um, so like I was excited to like go back into that world, and it's like also more piratey. Like you got like that guy who like you're traveling with the whole game, and I like
Mhm.
how a lot of the gameplay is so heavily based on drawing. I thought
Hmm.
that was really cute. Um, but that one temple that you have to keep on going back to, so annoying.
Yeah, with like the stealth, you know, the
You have to sneak past
golems.
like, yeah.
Yeah, the golems with the triangle view that you have to stay out of, and yeah.
Yeah, so anyone who's not familiar in the chat, just like basically between every like I guess level of the game, you have to go back to this one temple, and like there's different floors to it. So it's like you play the first floor, then you go do one level, then you have to play through the first floor, then the second floor, and then you go back to another level. First
Yeah.
floor, second floor, third floor. You have to keep replaying
Really?
this level.
Yeah.
Also, it's under a time limit. It's called the Phantom Hourglass because you literally have a Phantom Hourglass that like
Hmm.
times you every time you're in there. And also, like you tell me because you've played this, don't they? Do they like take away your sword or something?
I think at one point I haven't played that since mm, middle school.
Because I'm
Um
remembering being kind of defenseless in that area. I only did it
I think
like,
so. I just remember as a middle schooler when I should have had the patience for that kind of shit, I did not. I'm like, am
Hmm.
I gonna have to go? I think it was like at the third time because you're
mhm.
right. It's like you go do like you do it the first time, then you do it, then you have to go through the second floor, third floor again, and whatever else. And I'm like, I have to go back here again. I remember thinking that I'm like, fuck this. I'm like, I'm done.
I it's like I think what happened with me is that I wasn't hating the game. I was like appreciating it like for
Mhm.
what it was. It definitely wasn't a favorite, but I was like, fine. I was riding the ride. And I think I was on like the third time being at that temple, and then I died. And I was like, I don't want to go through those first 2 floors again just to get back here. I think I'm putting this down for now. And then I just never picked it back up.
Yeah.
Man.
Sucks because when you put down a game like that, you kind of have to restart it. Like,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, that was kind of what happened. I'm like, I didn't have the patience for it, and I certainly wouldn't have the patience for it now. There's something to be said that with games like that, like where the constant backtracking, I have lost all sorts of patience for that.
I mean,
Skyrim is about the only game with the constant backtracking that I can handle.
like, so I'm not being a hypocrite here. Like, there's also a lot of tracking in Majora's Mask. I just think it's done better in that game. Because, like, with Majora's Mask, are you guys familiar with that?
I'm not, Ren.
Somewhat. I'm somewhat familiar with that. I've watched a bit of it, and I remember like a long time ago, I had a friend that played a ton of it, and all I had to do was I was allowed to watch. That was basically it. And I was like, okay, fine, this is cool.
Right. I mean, like, the concept of that game and, like, the reason I've never seen anything like that.
You cut out towards the middle of that. Go ahead and just say it again.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. It's all good.
Okay. When I was a kid, like, I never saw anything like that before, and I can't like imagine any games that are like that now. But so the concept of Majora's Mask is it's kind of like a Groundhog Day. You only have 3 days to get your shit done, and then like you use those 3 days to like get like a portion of the game done, and then you play the ocarina to go back in time and start those 3 days again. But like you do like something different every cycle. Like, like one cycle I'm going to do the forest temple, one cycle I'm going to do the water, the Great Bay Temple, and there's no forest temple. It's the swamp. So like, and then like some people don't like it because if you don't beat these temples by the 3 days are up, then you have to basically redo that whole thing. But they give you so much time to do it. Like there's even like, a song you can play to slow down the thing. Like everyone always tells me that like they Mask because they can't handle the time limit. But it's like they give you so much time. Like you can beat a temple in like 1 day,
Yeah.
Like some of them are a little complicated. And then like there's like other side quest sort of things like, you can collect like, this many fairies to get an upgrade to your magic or something. And I usually just kind of ignore them. If you want to 100% the game, fine, go ahead. And even so, like it's even not that hard to find all of them,
Right.
Like the worst thing is freaking in the 3DS remake, they made the bosses more frustrating. Like that was what made the time limit hard for me. Is that like it took me like a full day to do freaking twin mold. Fuck twin mold.
Oh man.
Again, there's literally footage online of me crying over that.
No broken controller.
No, like I have a not under R2Ninjaturtle. I have another channel called Raphael. It's Raph like Raphael, but spelled Raphielle. So it's a mix between my name and Raphael. And so the first time I ever beat Majora's Mask, I recorded the whole ending to it. And like sometimes like some people do this, I like to do this. Before you beat the game, you try to like defeat all of the bosses again of all of like the levels, just so because like there's the time travel thing happening.
Right.
So like you defeated the Great Bay Temple boss several cycles ago. Like in this particular cycle happened. So like before you completely finish the game, it's kind of fun to go back and like you don't have to replay the temples, but just like go and fight all the bosses, do any of the side quests that has like meaning to you. Like there's like one very famous side quest about like a romance that people like to do. I like to fulfill that one. You have to save a ranch at one point. I like to do that one. And then so like I have this recording of me basically like defeating all of the important stuff before actually defeating the game. And like I went back to freaking Twin Mold, that one boss, and I was like it took me so long, and I was just so angry, like, tears in my eyes, just like, I just want to be done. Oh my god. Like, why? Like, how many times have I hit you? This is a Zelda boss. 3 hits. That's all you need.
Mascara streaming down your face. Why won't you die?
They just made it like they changed all the bosses in the 3DS, and I hate it so much.
Mm-hmm. Oh man.
Oh man.
I don't know. I've realistically, because I haven't played that one recently, the only thing I can really compare any Zelda game to, honestly, is just Breath of the Wild. That's the only one I've recently played. And I fucking love that game. Like, I adore it on so many other levels that I did not expect me to adore it at all. Like, not in the slightest. I thought it was going to be like, this is good. It's okay. It's overhyped. And then I played it and I was like, wait a minute. There's a lot of really tiny details. That's like the nice thing, because even when you watch like other playthroughs of Zelda games, you see the amount of detail they put into things. Like, there's a lot of effort all over the place.
I actually went into Breath of the Wild like doubtful, because I am not really one to play a lot of open world games. Like, I play Minecraft, but like I'm a stickler to what Legend of Zelda has been for a long time. And also I feel like Let's Plays of Breath of the Wild aren't that entertaining. So like I was kind of like discouraged going in. And I went in like kind of a skeptic. Like, they had like that whole like beginning area, and I was just kind of like making fun of it. And like, I was trying to be like, nah, I don't care. But then like I was like, it's called the Great Plateau, like the first area. I was in the Great Plateau for like, I think more time than other people. Like everyone's got their own adventure happening, but I was there for so long, and I got like really attached to the old man who's like helping you out. And like, just like as a friend and like a mentor and stuff. But I've seen Let's Play, so I know like where the story goes. And I was like, but I don't really want to go into it. Like, I'm enjoying this section. And then like once like the story moved forward, I was like, all right, I'm not doing it for Zelda. I'm doing it for the old man.
Yeah.
And I like, just like, again, everyone has their own story, but like I like accidentally tripped into the Zora area, and like just like my own story was playing out, and like I was just so blown away by just like every little corner having its own thing happening. Just so much to do. And what I've been telling people, like, oh my god, I played that game for like 2 weeks straight. Like, I would like do like my job at night, but so many hours went into that game. And the worst thing about that game is beating it.
Yeah.
Don't go to Ganon. Just keep playing.
I didn't want to at all. Like, okay, so this is my little story on this one. So when I started playing it, I actively tried not to watch any real gameplay of it. I wanted it to be a fairly blind experience for me. I didn't want to like just spoil it for myself outright, because I know it's like pretty obvious. It's like, you go beat Ganon, it's Zelda, duh. Like, but I was like, I have no idea what's going on in it. So I thought at the start, like, I thought I already had access to most of the game. I didn't realize I was just stuck on the Great Plateau, and that was it. And I was like, this is a decent size area. And I'm like, what's over there? And I look at the mountain. I'm like, that's a really cool mountain. And I see something climbing on the mountain.
Oh
like,
my God.
all the way from the Great Plateau. And I'm like, shitting my pants over here. Like, oh no, what is that? It's out to murder me. I don't want this in my life.
Oh my
god. It was a fantastic adventure. The one thing I kept on finding out, it was like, it wasn't necessarily like that it was an open world game or anything like that for me. I don't really, I kind of agree with you. Open world games, there's only like a few that really do it well, and then the rest are okay. Like, they're like, you play them and you're like, I get it, and then you move on. That's usually how it goes. But it kept on just throwing nonstop surprises at me. That was really where it started selling me on it. Was like, I was like, okay, really basic mechanics, seems good, whatever. And then it's like, wait a minute, I can tie balloons onto objects and then fly the balloon object into the fucking sunset and then probably fall and die. But like, before that part, I'm having a blast, dude. I'm having a wonderful adventure.
The fact that like the gameplay is set up that you do things however you want it, like, that's amazing. The first thing I did when I left the Great Plateau was that I set a goal for myself to I I forgot the word, but like I don't know, like you're setting up all the towers to
getting all
like,
the
you know, get
towers.
your map. Yeah, and like there were very obviously towers that I should
Mhm.
not have been at with like
Yeah.
3 hearts, you
Yeah.
know. But like I made them work for me. Like the freaking
Right.
Hyrule Field
Mhm.
tower where there's like all the guardians around it, like the
Yeah.
strongest baddies in the game. I'm just like I found a very high cliff and just kind of like swooped over them, and they're all aiming their lasers at me, dropped down where they couldn't get me, and then like climbing up the tower. I would like climb up the ladder, then like hide behind a platform, climb up the
Uh-huh.
ladder, hide behind the platform, just like. And I figured out every tower just ninja-ing my way through it,
Mhm.
and just like other little things about the game, like I said that I tripped into the Zora area and like I had nothing on me. I was like, I don't feel prepared for this, and they're all like, go help us, go get arrows from the Lionel. And I'm like, I hear Lionels are really bad, so I'm just gonna go. And Prince Sidon is like, yeah, I'll meet you at the waterfall. And I'm like, yeah, sure. And then like I didn't see him for like weeks. But then
Yeah.
like I came back, like that was the last temple I defeated, and I was
Mhm.
like I was bulked up, and I was like, Sidon, let's go.
Yeah, so because this was one of my like first Zelda games in like the longest period of time, I didn't know what Lionels were. I didn't know like a
Mhm.
whole bunch of stuff, and I just saw like I found a Lionel in the middle of like a snowy area, and he was
Oh
just
my
staring me down,
god.
and I like at first I was panicking because he was like he was big, he looked like he was gonna murder me, but he wasn't doing anything, and I was like, huh. Strange, can't tell if you're broken or if that's just how you work. Whatever, I'll walk away. And while I'm walking away, I'm still watching him because I'm like, there's no possible way that this is gonna go well for me, right? And I'm out of nowhere. He just like he pulls out. I think he like pulled out a bow or something. I don't even remember.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
he just like he wanted me dead. He did not want me in existence anymore. And I
Yep.
was all like, oh, I'm 7 fucking miles away. This guy's not gonna do shit. What's
And
that
he's
little
still
light
shooting
thing
you.
at me? Oh no! And so I'm just booking it. I'm just trying to live. And oh my god, I don't know. I found that to be the best part was like, especially going into it blind where you have no fucking idea what like I walked into the castle and I knew it was Ganon's castle. Like obviously it's the only fucking giant castle in existence, you know, probably main boss territory. Makes sense. So I get into there and I'm not even trying to get to the end boss at all. I'm not like
Mhm.
even remotely. I'm just exploring. I'm like, I can't believe I'm in here. I fucking snuck in here. Nobody knows I'm in. I'm a sneaky boy. I'm basically Snake from Metal Gear. Nobody knows I'm here. I have a cardboard box ready. I am good to go. And so I'm just like, I'm exploring. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna climb up this waterfall using ice pillars because I'm smart. And I go up there. And then I started, like, I ran into the little room where you encounter all the bosses. And I didn't
Uh-huh.
know that was a thing because apparently, if you kill them in the like the normal way, where you actually go and you fight all the temple bosses that way, one by one, they don't show up in that room. I didn't know that, and I only killed one at this point. So I was like, "Oh, look, a room!" And I went in, and it was all like it was 3 bosses, just back after back after back. And I was like, "I don't know what's going on. I just went out, but I can't leave." And I somehow
Huh.
killed him, and then Ganon showed up and one-shot me. And I was like, that's probably for the best. I don't think I should be here.
Oh, so does that happen in the Ganon room?
Yeah, yeah, before you actually
Okay.
fight Ganon, you encounter all the temple bosses that you are, like, normally supposed to encounter through the,
And
actual thing.
and if you don't defeat them, they're there in front of
Yeah,
Ganon?
yeah,
I didn't know that. So
yeah,
funny thing that you mentioned the water experience actually.
mhm,
I did this on I decided to beat Breath of the Wild on a Twitch stream,
mhm,
and the first thing I did, and like this was the first time I was in Ganon's tower, and I was like ready to make the whole stream like, oh, going through the castle and exploring and eventually getting to Ganon. So like I go up this one area, and first I get locked in a room with a Lionel,
yeah,
like just
yes!
me and him, and like I'm like, oh, whatever, like, you know, I have great armor, I have like everything, I'm good to go, I defeated the whole game, like I 100%ed it, let's go. And he's kicking my ass because I never learned how to properly fight in that game.
Yeah,
And so he's killing me, and so I'm like, you know what, I'm not gonna waste my I'm just gonna go. And I
Mhm.
like climbed up a wall, climbed out a window, and I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, now I'm safe. And then two guardians start like, aiming their lasers at me.
Yeah.
And the Lionel is still shooting his arrows at me through the window. So two guardians and a Lionel after me. And I like panic run into the river, and I start trying to like swim up the waterfall.
Yeah.
And the guardians and the Lionel keep shooting at me, so I keep falling off the waterfall. And I finally, after like I'm talking like 8 tries, I'm
Mhm.
finally up the waterfall. I land on the bridge, and I'm like, okay. I turn around, I take like 2 steps to the side, and I'm in the Ganon room. And I'm like, wait,
That's
what?
exactly what happened to me. Like 100%, because I wasn't ready at all. I was just exploring. I was like, this is neat, dude. There's all sorts of stuff here. And I ran into the Lionel room, but I didn't realize that there was supposed to be a Lionel in there in the first place. So I went in actively going to climb up that wall.
Yeah, there's nothing in there.
Yeah, I went and climbed, like, the split second I entered, I was like, I'm just gonna climb up this wall and walk around. I don't want to go through this fucking room. This looks sketchy. And sure enough, there's a giant Lionel just sitting in the room waiting for me, and I was like, you're gonna die today.
Yeah,
like,
what happens is that you walk into that room and it's clear, and then like they lock
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. Oh,
Dick
man.
move.
But
It's
yeah.
horrifying.
Yeah. In short, I fucking absolutely love that game. I like the amount of like freedom it gives you. Because you can
Yeah.
I stumbled into, well, I had this like when you go to it's not the like first real NPC you talk to. I think it's the second one where you actually get the ability to scan things, if I remember if that's how that works. Or you can be at least like search for specific items from that
Pura?
person. Yes, yeah. And I went to the top of that mountain and I saw out in the middle of the ocean just a little tiny temple, and I'm like, I have a personal vendetta. I need this temple. It's going to happen. I know I'm not supposed to be there, but it's gonna happen 100%. And so I'm like gearing up. I got so much stamina stuff so that way I could just fly all the way there. And I'm streaming this, so I'm like, I'm turning on Pirates of the Caribbean music. We're going in. It's happening. And so we finally get there. I'm like, I feel like a god. And I went in and instantly died. And I was like,
Was it
okay.
like the challenge of strength?
Yeah, it was
One
the
of those?
major challenge of strength, and I was like, you gotta be kidding me.
Yep.
It was my
Yep.
first like real challenge like that, and I was like, oh, I'll be fine, whatever. And then you one shot me, and it's like,
I would literally like walk in and then walk out of those.
Yeah.
Eventually I got good at them, but like for a while I was just like, I'm just gonna shoot you with ice arrows, just
Mhm.
keep a distance, you know.
Yeah. Oh man, but yeah, I don't know. I really like the amount of freedom that it gives you. You can make your own mistakes, and then you get to feel like an idiot for it. But everything else, you feel like the smartest guy in the world. You're like, I fucking just snuck past like all these dudes. They had no idea what was coming. I'm a god.
It's an amazing game. Fantastic.
Oh,
But
man.
like I will say, I hope that because like after Ocarina of Time came out, like you guys, you said that yeah, you kind of like missed those games, but like Ocarina of Time kind of like set the bar and like the formula for
Mhm.
Zelda for many iterations of the game as they over the decade, and so Breath of the Wild was like a whole new thing, and so people are saying that they're probably going to go along with this formula from now on, and it's
Mhm.
like there's definitely elements to it that I will welcome, but I really hope that they bring back other things from the other games that I
Yeah.
missed, like the more story
Yeah.
stuff. Like I love Ganondorf. I want Ganondorf. I don't want like a big pig monster, smoky pig monster. I want like, I want him. And yeah, just like I like the stories that they bring in. So like
Yeah.
I hope that like there's still like that freedom of like doing it in whatever way you can, but just more of that.
Yeah. I will agree because like realistically, I didn't really care about the story the entire time I played it. I was kind of just like, I want to go find that thing. What's that about? Never was it like, I really want to know the story and how this is really like panning out. It was never like the case like that. And I mean, there's situations where you get to see a little bit into that and you're like, that's pretty cool. But at the same time, when I was playing, I was like, I'm running around. I'm having a great time. But I agree. I totally agree. It definitely did not have like any realistic story elements that really were there to like keep you entertained and enthused. It was like heavily, at least the way I saw it, was heavily revolved around like the gameplay mechanic. And that was
Yeah,
realistically it.
I liked the most the thing I liked the most about their story was I really liked the champions, those characters,
Mhm. Yeah.
and like their interactions and stuff. But
Mhm.
I couldn't give less shits about Zelda.
Yeah,
I didn't like their
exactly.
interpretation of her. And like I
Yeah.
said, I wasn't doing it for her. I was doing it for the old man, you know? Um,
Doing it for you, Grandpa.
I didn't like the voice they gave her. I'm one of those people.
Mhm.
Um, and then like I found myself kind of avoiding the story for the most part. Like, I
Yeah.
said that like I ran away from the Zora portion. Like they tried to pull me into that, and I was like, no, I'm not ready.
I found the exact same thing for myself too. It was all like, you should go do this so that way you can get this story stuff going. It's like, I want to go find some towers.
Yeah, like
Wait.
the first actual story thing I did was that like I was in Village, the Bird people, and again, I just kind of like happened to stumble into that one, and then like you meet like the guy who helps you out, and I was just like, I kind of felt for him, and he was just like, wow, like you're really good at archery. Well, you want to join me? And I'm like, sure, I'm not doing anything. And like so it was just like a very casual sort of story experience of just like, all right, I'm feeling kind of strong and brave. Like, you seem like you need help. I'll help you out. And I went to the big bird thing with him. And I did my own, I did that part of the story. There you go.
Yeah.
Like it all just felt very natural. Just like I had my journey, it was happening. And then, if I happened to stumble into, this episode of the game, so be it,
Yeah. Yeah. And sorry for sidelining the entire podcast, Danie. My bad. My apologies. I know that you haven't really played a lot of like Zaldo, but
It's fine.
This immediately got brought up, and I was like, I need to talk about this 100%. What's happening?
Well, hold on, Ren. What happens whenever we talk about Dungeons and Dragons?
I get to sit here like a good boy and just try not to grab my Switch and play.
Don't worry, Ren. I don't know anything about Dungeons and Dragons. So.
Fuck yeah! Oh man,
it's all good. So you're talking about sidelining, but I think this is a kind of a good way to go into Minecraft updates. Have you guys played the Minecraft updates at all?
I meant to play a little bit before I got on stream today, so just so I can see. I'm so excited to look at that.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Was there a massive update or something?
It was pretty decent. So they added a bunch of new like blocks that like new crafting stations and stuff like that. So some of them being like a bonfire that you can create that'll cast light, but you also can cook 4 items on it at a time. 2 upgrades to the furnace, one called the smoker that does increased, it's just like faster cooking, and then you have like one for ore called the blast furnace that's faster ore smelting, but with both of those you take a little bit of a hit on your XP gain from it. There's crossbows, which you can get from these roaming hostile mobs called illagers. I think pillagers.
I think they're pillagers, but illagers. So funny.
I think there's something
because we got sick loot.
Yeah, so there's a pillager. Basically, whenever you kill a pillager or like a pillager captain or something like that, you get this curse on you that anytime you enter a village, they raid. And so you get like these 4 waves that these pillagers will come and attack the village. And then once you actually defeat the raid, the villagers will trade with you at like a reduced price. So you can, like in the server that I'm running right now that I have on my stream, the village like right next to our town, we've done a couple raids. There's one farmer that will sell you or will buy wheat from you for like 14 wheat to 1 emerald, and he'll just 2 emeralds or 2 wheats, 2 wheat for 1 emerald. So stuff like that. They introduced a stone cutting block that you can use to make stairs of any block, basically.
Really?
And it makes it so stairs aren't expensive really anymore. Like when you make stairs, it's 6 blocks for
Mhm.
4. Now it's 1 for 1.
Yeah. Wow.
So,
Wow.
yeah, there's a couple other things. I mean, I think pandas were added, foxes were added,
Mhm.
or fox, foxes, fox.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've only been
Fox
speaking
eye.
this language, fox eye. I've only been speaking this language my entire life.
Mhm.
They added bamboo. Oh, they added barrels as another just like form of storage. Ooh, kitty cat with a mustache. Sorry, distracted. What else have they added? Yeah, I think that's like the gist of the update. Pretty fun. The pillage and village aspect of it is actually really enjoyable.
Mhm.
They I think they increased like the spawn rate of villages in general, because at least on our server there's 5 or 6 villages like within like a 500 block radius of our main little area. I'm like, nice. I'm like, just gonna go on ahead and raid all of these of all their resources and leave. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm the kind of person who always raids the books because
yeah,
the whole
Because
dumb
books are a pain in the ass to make.
yeah.
read wood. Fuck that.
Yeah. So overall,
Leather.
yeah. Yeah, the leather's a pain in the ass, especially because we're on a service called R2Ninjaturtle, which is like just a free service.
Mhm.
And so if you're in sorry, I got distracted by someone in chat. What was I just Atronos? Yeah, if you have like more than like 25 individual animals in a farm, like the server starts to like lag the fuck out.
Mhm.
That's a little bit of an exaggeration, but like I had the problem where like a bunch of randos were joining and just
Yeah.
having massive chicken farms. I'm like,
Yeah.
can we not? Like all these entities literally kill the server. So we made it a rule. It's like no private livestock farms. Like
Mhm.
everything's got to be like where I can control the population. And that's worked out okay so far.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's been a fun little update, testing it out.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah. It's been a
the,
long time. Oh, sorry.
no, I was gonna say this is probably the update that probably is gonna bring me back for a little bit longer than the last one.
Really?
Last
Okay.
update, yeah, the last update just didn't do much for me.
Mhm.
Oh, you didn't
But
like the ocean?
yeah, the ocean update just yay tridents.
Oh
Fucking
man.
trident.
So for me personally, I
Mhm.
played it here and there recently, but not really. Like I haven't gotten like back into it. I used to play a long time ago, back like I think it was 1.2.5, and that was like probably like 7 years ago at this point, and I used to play it a ton
Damn.
then. But I haven't really gotten back into it. But hearing about all this new stuff, because I did see the ocean update. I did actually get a chance to see that. And honestly, when I stepped in from like 7 years to like that, I was like, the fuck happened to this game? There's turtles everywhere. What's going on? Is that a dolphin? Oh
It's a
man.
motherfucking dolphin.
Yeah.
My friends and I have actually been playing Minecraft. Not recently because I've been in Japan, but
Mhm.
like the past like 2-3 months ish, we've been playing Minecraft hardcore together.
Mhm.
Like setting out to defeat the Ender Dragon without dying. You know, it's like a
Right.
big journey. And then like if someone dies, it's like really dramatic. And we record that, so that's going to be a series that's going to be coming out on my Let's Play channel. And also, I've been doing like Minecraft Sundays on my
Mhm.
Twitch, where my friend and I have been, just playing Minecraft. So I've been doing a lot of Minecraft recently, like getting a lot of content from that.
Mhm.
It's a good like reset.
Yeah.
Every so often I just get so frustrated because mostly I play shooters.
Yeah.
With Ren
Can't
getting me into
relate.
Rainbow Six Siege. um, sometimes like I just get too bogged down in shooters, and
Mhm.
like I'll go through like a spout where it's just spout. What the fuck am I saying?
Yeah.
About where I just can't do anything in shooters. And so I
Yeah.
kind of go back to Minecraft and just like,
Yeah, it's a breath of fresh air. It's because, like, oh my god, shooters will drive you insane after a certain
Yeah.
point. It's just bound to happen. You're like, for me personally, I try to like stay pretty positive about things, but like sometimes it just starts to like whittle down. I'm like, how the fuck did I just die here? What is this BS game? What do you mean? And it's like, maybe you should go
when you
play
get the
Minecraft for a bit.
yeah,
Maybe you should
When
go
you
play some Stardew for a moment.
get the
Oh,
yips
man.
in a shooter, and it's the worst. It's the most
Mhm.
frustrating thing. It's like, I knew this peak. I knew this peak forever. Why am I forgetting about this peak?
Oh man. But
Yeah, it's been a. Oh, go ahead, Ren.
I was gonna ask, like, because you said that you were like thinking about like starting a Minecraft again because of this update. I know there's been a ton of like a ton of content that's been added. Do you think it's worth? I mean, like, how long would you guess that I would last playing Minecraft if I started playing again?
Well, it depends on. I mean, I guess who you're playing with.
Right.
That's a big thing.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're playing with our usual crew, you know, Switchblade, Tiff, me, I could see you getting, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Okay. All right.
Before you go back to Siege.
Yeah. I can see it. Oh man.
Yeah, but I guess because I remember you got on when we had the Atros, you got on for like 2 days.
Yeah, no, I got on and I was like, this is like, there's a lot of stuff. And honestly, probably, I didn't want to relearn everything. That was like the biggest thing, is I didn't want to just like go through and just be like, oh, there's like 17 million new things, and also turtles and dolphins exist, and why is there fucking water zombos? Like, what is
It's not
going
that
on?
hard to pick back up.
Yeah.
Like, if
No,
anything, have like the wiki page available if you want to learn how to make.
Yeah.
Well, actually, they have the recipe books now. So
yeah, that's true.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I might go back to it because I'm definitely curious about the updates recently.
It's
I've
so
been,
fun.
Yeah. Oh man.
Have you ever played on hardcore mode?
Yes, I used to a long time ago, and I died.
So fun.
I was really upset.
I had.
It's like. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I just had friends. We were trying to do it, and then literally nobody thought to farm.
Yeah.
Like we were like,
so everybody starved to death.
Yeah, like we were just splitting up like all of our tasks. Like, okay, you go get wood. You you know, you build us a quick shelter. You go down to the mine and stuff. And we never thought to like, hey, who's gonna be responsible for farming food for us? The majority of us starved to death. I was the last one alive, simply because I had just been going around and killing every animal I saw that could produce food. At a certain point, when I realized no one was gonna farm, I'm like, fuck you guys, I'm the Lord of the Flies this shit.
It's like when my friends and I play Minecraft hard, all of the people who I play with are the more like efficient ones. Like one's really into farming, one's into building, or like a few of them are into building. Like they're all like very like, let's get the job done. And then I'm the one who like stands on mountaintops dramatically, like, I see a village.
That's me.
I'm going to explore the world. And then like, so when we're not doing those sessions, it's just like me and my friend derping around. It's like, you know, I'm the one who's like the dramatic explorer, and then he's just kind of the derp who like stands off to the side, like, I'm helping. So like when the two of us are playing together, we're just like, you gotta make a shack, I guess.
Yeah. We need at least a bed so we can maybe live. Possibly.
Yeah. It's like, let's start a chicken farm, and then like one gets like build the castle around that one chicken.
Oh man. Yeah. No, I would definitely be the derp. I can't argue that one. It's my role.
I remember in a couple different times, I'm always the person that people didn't realize you could dye sheep. So like, we'd like spawn like in hardcore mode, and like I would sneak off, find a flower, find a sheep, and color the sheep and pretend I didn't find it. That's always been a fun little guys. There's a purple sheep over here.
What?
Oh, that's rare.
I'm also the person who, at least like in the beginning, because we've done it enough times now, you know, like the first like 3 sessions, I was the only person who like had actually encountered the Ender Dragon and knew how to fight it. And then I would like not make it to the Ender Dragon, and then like the people left would be like, "So what do we do?" I don't know.
I've always been the one on the server, and like all the servers that I played on before, kind of having this one. I don't think we've made it to the dragon on this one. Where everyone's like, "Oh yeah, I found like the stronghold. You guys want to do it like tomorrow night?" Or like we know most people are gonna be on. I'm like, "Yeah, cool." And then it'd be like the same person would be like, "Hey guys, I got bored last night and soloed the dragon."
What?
What an asshole.
Fun.
What
the fuck?
By the way, in the
Oh,
time,
man.
I also farmed a bunch of wither skeletons. Now I've got the first beacon on the server too. Like, bastard. Yeah, that's been my experience. I think I've fought the dragon like once, and that was before any of the updates for the dragon fight.
The first time I beat the dragon, like I have a screenshot of it. I have a screenshot of it, and it's just literally R2Ninjaturtle fell from a high place over and over and over. Because like we set up our beds just outside of the stronghold, so we would die, respawn, run back in, and jump into the portal naked, basically, like no armor, no sword, anything. Try to fight as much as we could, die, and just repeat, just like running in circles. It was embarrassing.
Oh, man. One thing I found with this update is in the raid there's this elephant. I almost describe it. Do you guys know the Pokemon Donphan?
Yes.
Imagine a giant Donphan that comes with the pillagers, and it like will roll. Well, it won't literally roll through like Donphan will, but it'll like just come through town and like start destroying shit. And I found that thing. It does 2 hearts of damage when you're fully iron armored. So it hits like a fucking tank. And we started a raid on our town the other night. I was just kind of chilling with a friend. I'm like, yeah, sure, let's just start this raid up on here. This thing rolled through me twice and my friend once before we could kill it, because we're trying to like, it'll lock onto one person, so like the person should just like, the best like course of action is just to have that person lead it while the other one pings it with arrows. It took us forever. For whatever reason, this thing, like my friend and I couldn't land our shots when it was, when it was our turn to like, take the shots. And like, or like it would trap us somehow, like it would trap us like between a building, and like we wouldn't be able to, we would get ourselves trapped, and it'd just like fuck us up then. Yeah, it's been that like whole new kind of boss aspect of that has been really fun. More so than doing like the Guardians or the Wither. I'm trying to think if there are any other bosses.
There's the Guardians are the underwater guys, aren't they?
I think you have like the mansions and the Dark Forest that can spawn.
Yeah.
That have a boss in them, which I've never done those.
Yeah, I've never come across a mention.
Yeah. Yeah, like the Guardians were incredibly boring to me in terms of like, oh yay, I can't. They keep giving me slow, or they keep hindering my mining. Woo.
They're hard. Oh my god, the first time, like the first and only time I tried to down there with my friends, and my friend blocked us in to like shield us from the Guardians, and then I was like, Megan, we can't mine, and we just drowned. Like it was basically like, you guys, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Aida. That show ends with like them getting buried alive. So it's like, it was literally that. Like we were like, it was the most dramatic thing that's ever happened to me in my, like we were just talking to each other and just like, waiting for like the underwater breathing potions to run out, and then our air to run out, and then our health to run out, and just be like so what do you regret? And then like it was two of us in there, and then like our other friend was like outside, like desperately trying to get us out. Like, I'm so sorry, guys.
Oh man.
Oh my god, that's awful.
And it's like she exploded first, and then I did. Like,
Oh no.
it was, oh my god.
Oh, oof. Yeah, so the new Minecraft update worth checking out if you guys haven't checked out Minecraft. I did want to do a quick little bit of talking here. Kind of a continuation of on the podcast here where we get to rag on the FCC. Are you guys good to talk about this right now?
Sure, it's a weekly topic.
It's a weekly topic. It's not a secret now that I really dislike Ajit Pai, as I've said. But apparently, Ajit Pai and the FCC, the Federal Communications Commission, has greatly overestimated the broadband rollout for the entire country. So back in February, Ajit Pai said that broadband deployment in the US is going great, despite at the time 20 million homes lacked high-speed internet connection, and
yeah,
just
no, it's getting better,
a lot of people called
there.
bullshit on that. A lot of people called bullshit on that, and they finally admitted that they drastically overstated the actual deployment. And they're just like, it's okay.
Yeah.
We just lied a little bit.
Yeah. I like, because I read the article too, and basically what it says is like, we drastically overstated, but it's okay. Everything's going great. Don't worry. Everything's going just peachy, but like, we might have possibly really lied a lot. Sorta. It's like, it's either one or the other. Like, you can't just be like, oh no, we fucked it up big time. But actually, it's going fantastic. Like, we're doing great. We're doing perfect. It's like, I don't fucking know about that one, dude. I don't know.
Yeah. So apparently, a lot of this is based on faulty information provided by Barrier Free. And the revised numbers, so this is for 2017, the numbers that they stated before was 19.4 million households had, or I'm sorry, you gotta read and talk at the same time.
Dude, I can barely talk at the same time.
Yeah,
so,
right.
Okay.
Previous report claimed that the number of Americans lacking access to fixed broadband connections of at least 25 megs downstream and 3 megs upstream declined from 26.1 million at the end of 2016 to 19.4 million at the end of 2017. Those figures were based on faulty data provided by Barrier Free. According to the revised report, the real number at the end of 2017 stood at 21.3 million Americans, not 19.4 million Americans.
Wait, so they didn't even do a mill?
Yeah.
What?
This article, by the way, this is from PC Gamer by Paul Lilly. Thank you, Paul Lilly, for the excellent reporting here. So yeah, that's
beyond drastically understating. That's like not doing anything differently, like at all. What? Oh, we're trying to lower down that 20 mil count. How much have you gotten? We're getting there, I mean, it's a long road, I mean, sometimes we have to go out and do things. It's crazy. But like, yeah, that's not a whole lot of anything done.
So, Arielle, I got a question. What's the internet like there in Orlando?
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
I'll go out like once in a while, but like I just unplug it. Like I've lived here for since late last September, and I think it's only gone out maybe 2 times, and it was a quick fix.
Yeah. Do you have any issues of like? Do you know if they're delivering on what you're buying kind of situation or?
I got internet.
That's fair.
If anything, and I don't know if my computer or my my setup, my settings, whatever. When I stream, I think I get kind of like I freeze and lag a
Mhm.
lot, and that's very annoying. And I've
Yeah.
been playing with the settings for a long time. I got a new webcam. Everyone was built-in webcam, and
Mhm.
still is laggy. So I don't know if that's an internet thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
That might be related to your bit rate and what your um what's the word I'm looking for, Ren? Bandwidth
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
So in related to this particular fight, as people know, I'm a big proponent of municipal internet,
Mhm.
in which public utility companies provide internet as a service, bundled together with electricity and gas and water and all that stuff.
Mhm.
Right here in my own backyard, um, in the city of Vinton, Iowa, we now have DC-based organizations backed by um, backed by other folks coming in and trying to stop the city of Vinton, a town of 5,000 people, from doing just that, modeled after or something similar to the city of Cedar Falls. Now, I'm not entirely sure what Vinton's plans really are. Vinton is a small town of 5,000 people.
Mhm.
Uh, um, some might say that's a village instead of a town, but that's a
Yeah.
town here in Iowa. A village has 500 people in Iowa. um, so yeah, like just make sure you guys are paying attention. That's like the biggest thing that we've talked about like over the last like 2 weeks is
Mhm.
pay attention to stuff like that. It's
Yeah.
important for your information. It's important for if you're like Ren, Arielle, or I, where we want to try to make a living on the internet or do
Yeah.
anything on the internet. It's you know a part of the future of business
Yeah.
and the future of your own finances. If you don't have a high speed broadband connection, it's going to be kind of difficult sometimes to pay your bills
Mhm.
because those web pages can reload and maybe freeze. And when
Mhm.
you're trying to pay bills, that's really fucking annoying.
Yeah, and what happens
Um,
when your like internet goes faulty and then it starts sending multiple confirmations on one payment, and
Oh
then you
my
end up
god.
paying like 4 times over because your
mm,
internet's a dick. Just,
mhm.
just like a possibility, it can happen. I'm not saying it's happened to
I'm
me. Almost happened to me, but
I'm having like awful flashbacks of like back in the day where you would like type something really big out and then like freeze and
yeah,
you'd have to like you'd lose everything you just typed.
yeah. Oh
Oh
man,
god, fuck that.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
So pay attention to that stuff. That's all I'm gonna say on this
mhm,
topic again.
yeah. And for most context, because like I know, for example, for you, Ariel, it's not like that big of a deal because you live in like a city, like your connection's fairly stable for the most part.
Hmm.
For me personally, I live in the boonies. Like I have two options, and one is like 3 megs down, which is like barely enough to do anything for like $60, or
Hmm.
dial up. Like those are the two options here, and that's why it's like because like not a lot of people actually do know that because a lot of people live in cities, but like for a lot of other areas, you're kind of just dicked over unless if they just all like, maybe we'll possibly do it. Probably not. I don't want to put the effort out to like put any sort of line out there. Why would
Huh.
I? Yeah. So
Yeah,
yeah.
that's a big thing with this particular Vinton story that kind of irks me is okay, this is a town of 5,000 people.
Hmm.
Is Mediacom or CenturyLink, the two largest internet service providers for that area, going to come out and improve their stuff to compete with what the utility company is going to provide?
Hmm.
Because if they're not, then why do they care?
Yeah.
Well, I know why they care, but if they're not, then that says a lot.
Hmm.
And my guess is that what the city is going to provide is going to be comparable, if not a little bit better than Mediacom. So that's just one of those things. You're right, because the investment, the capital,
Hmm.
they don't see it as
Yeah.
these
It's not to
providers
like
don't
do
see
it
it
for the
as
people. It's
mhm.
how much money is this worth? Is it really worth
You-
the investment to lay out all that like
yeah,
groundwork
the
to do that?
ROI, yeah, the ROI is not good for them,
Yeah.
and that leaves little cities like this in the dust.
Hmm.
It leaves cities like this way behind, and yeah. So, like I said, pay attention to that stuff. We harp on this like it seems like every week, every other week. I rage about Ajit Pai and his slimy little tactics.
Oh man.
Because he literally affects every decision he makes. Literally affects my life. When despite working in radio, working online. So yeah, that's that. Other than that, did you guys see there's a Razer toaster coming out?
I did. I'm not gonna comment too much on it. I don't think
I'm
I'm
not
a big
either.
proponent of somebody that needs a new green toaster, but I'm sure there's somebody out
I
there.
love the
that-
color green.
It's a genius toaster. I wonder if it has Wi-Fi compatibilities. Maybe it's multiplayer.
Dude, it really needs. I really hope that underlighting on it is RGB controlled, so you can just
Yeah, it pulses.
it pulses.
It's definitely up. 100%.
I
Man.
just want to like sync it up Bluetooth to a song or something like that, and my toaster's just pulsing.
Yeah,
to
you
the
gotta
song.
get your Razer Chroma Spectrum thing going. You gotta get that shit rocking and rolling, When it toasts, like it turns red, it's genius. And then when it's going, it's yellow, maybe, possibly. I don't make toasters.
Did you?
It starts from blue and it like slowly fades into.
Yeah! Genius.
Goes
Oh,
purple
man.
when it's burnt. Did you notice on the? I don't know if this is this art here, but they have a 3.5 millimeter, two 3.5 millimeter jacks
Yes.
on the front.
Yeah.
of it.
I think that's actually like a thing. Like a thing.
I really hope not.
What do you mean? You don't want to listen to that sick toaster music? Come on, what's wrong with that?
Arielle, is there anything else that you wanted to talk about?
I mean,
I'm just skimming through what we talked about. Put it right on the spot. I'm just skimming through what we have in our chat here. There's nothing else really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like
it's
that.
realistically there hasn't been much of anything going on at all.
There was we don't really talk about.
I mean, when we're talking about
industry
Razer
much.
toasters, that's when you know we might have an issue when it comes to content.
The problem is that we have our little niche, and so like talking about the Riot walkouts wouldn't exactly work out for us.
Yeah, last no words.
Yeah, that's about it. Well, actually, are we at an hour and a half already?
Yes, sir.
Well, I guess that's about our usual time, so it's good that we ran out of topics.
Here, chat likes the kitty. Kitty.
My fucking god.
It's a kitty, and he has a mustache.
boy.
Guys. The kitty has a mustache.
Look.
See, he has a mustache. He's so cute.
Man.
Boy.
Yeah, I did not even realize. I looked down at the clock, which this so very rarely happens. I looked down at the clock and realized, oh yeah, no, we have an hour. we have an hour and a half of content.
Yeah, I can start talking about Breath of the Wild again if you want.
Oh dear God, we're gonna make this a 2.5 hour.
Oh man.
So I think this will probably be where we call it for the show here. Arielle, I appreciate you coming on the show.
It was fun. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
Of course. So for those who missed the top of the show here on Twitch, why don't you tell the people where they can find you, what they're gonna find when they get there, and all that good stuff. Any future projects you want to plug and everything.
You can pretty much find me under everywhere, every social media, Twitter, Instagram, DeviantArt, Facebook, YouTube. I'm trying to post more on my YouTube channel. Upcoming projects. I have a Let's Play channel. There is a link on my YouTube channel to that, but it's called Controllers. See asterisk the trollers. And we're planning on posting Minecraft series up there, the Minecraft hardcore stuff I was talking about. And plus, I try to play Minecraft every Sunday. Not this coming Sunday because it's Mother's Day, but after that, I should be pretty free to do that. And that's pretty much all the current content I'm working on. But I'm just on the internet. I've been on the internet for a long time, doing my thing.
Right on. I've never heard of the internet
Follow
before.
me.
Sounds cool.
Sounds legit.
Yeah.
So let me introduce you to a guy named Al Gore. He invented it.
Is that the guy
Ren,
with the
what's coming
man
up
and
on
the
your...
bear and the pigs? Is that what we're talking? No, never mind. Okay, all right, never mind. Hi, I'm Ren. If you guys don't know who I am, I'm going to be having a subathon, a 12-hour subathon starting this Friday. It's going to start around noon Pacific Standard Time. We're going to go up to a 24-hour stream. If it ends up going to that, I have a few games planned. I know I want to play Guns of Icarus because that game looks sweet, but I know literally nothing about it, so that's going to be an adventure. Probably going to play some Siege, play all sorts of random stuff. We'll see. What, were you saying something, Dan?
I say I can join you on Guns of Icarus.
Oh, hell yeah! But I'm going to be playing all sorts of stuff. Feel free to stop on in if you'd like. But yeah, it's going to be a fun time. That's basically it. Find me on Twitch.
Awesome. So coming up on my channel this week, I'm abstaining from streaming. I need to take a little bit of a break. I need to find a new place to live in because I am relocating for work. So all that fun stuff is happening. Let's see. So probably next week we'll resume. I'm not sure what we'll be playing. Maybe some Minecraft. Depending on when Ren plays Guns of Icarus, you can catch me playing Guns of Icarus with him. I'll probably get back into Insurgency. I need to finish Enderall, and I've just kind of decided I'm going to cheat. I'm going to cheat in Enderall. I'm going to go on ahead and do the slash kill for that boss, and I'm underleveled for that boss. I know it.
Wow.
I'm more interested in the end in resolving that story.
I'm hurt.
And then I'm kind of thinking about doing some Pokemon here in the future as well. Also, just because I don't think I've said it on the podcast, once I hit 375 followers on Twitch, we will be doing a Danie Sings, or as some people in the chat like to call it, Danie Core. And I'm hoping I can get a friend of the stream, friend of the podcast, American Right, to join me for that.
You're going to be doing Twitch Sings?
Yes.
What?
Only because there's a Sum 41 song that I'm like, I know it can rock, still waiting. Yeah, it's gonna, and then I could probably do a Pantera song or two as well.
Oh man, more balls than me. I will never.
You should come hang out on my streams. We usually end up singing at some point.
Oh my god.
every time.
Other than that, follow the podcast on Spotify. You can subscribe to us on Apple iTunes. Also, you can subscribe. You can also subscribe to us on YouTube as well. The show goes up 24 hours after the live broadcast here. You can also watch the VOD on Twitch. You can also find it on Swoot. Follow us on Twitter at NTNPod. And of course, as always, links will be down below in the description of every single one of those doohickeys that I just said. Absolutely anything else, guys?
No, I'm good, dude.
I'm on a book.
Oh, snap!
Oh, snap!
Get Cybernaut by Paige Etheridge on. I'm on the cover.
Oh,
there you go. That's my plug.
You've hit the pinnacle of
I want to be on a book.
Of stardom. Yeah, exactly. I want to be on a book too. And I'd really like to be
okay. You can read this book and picture me as the main character, because this cover forcefully makes you picture the main character as me. So there you go.
I'm just thinking, like, I don't want to be on the cover of a true crime book. That's my goal. Either because if you're on the cover of a true crime book, you're either dead and you died horribly, or you're some sort of horrible murderer. I'd rather not have either. All right, guys. Anything else? Otherwise, you can call it.
Do it for me.
All right. Bye.
All right, bye, guys.
Bye.